160 something. Morning, John.
66, isn't it?
Thank you. Morning, Peter.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
And
Thanks for Britain, yes.
Okay, I'm just going to take the card off screen and magically make Stephen appear. I hope. Morning, Stephen. Oh, it's sunny.
Morning.
Definitely sunny in Stoke.
Bloody gorgeous.
Can't see any Stephen though. Oh, he's appeared there.
You're hidden by the sunlight.
Yeah, no.
It's so bright in Stoke.
Beautiful. About 90 degrees out there, you know. And as you know, we have the beach just outside, and the waves are crashing gorgeously.
It's a beautiful day in Aberdeen as well, by the way.
It's quite nice here.
Yeah, it's about 12 degrees here.
Wow.
Yeah. All good.
Spring's in the air.
We're getting closer. March 28th is the target date for spring. That's when it is due to arrive. Good morning, Fons. Well, I'm saying good morning anyway. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's do the rounds. What's happening in Solihull, John?
Nothing.
Okay.
What's happening in Solihull? Don't think we've had anything particularly exciting happen in Solihull. It's my granddaughter's first birthday today.
Birthday, Dottie. We're not singing.
Apart from that, we've had some car chases, both of which ended up in crashes on the same road, about 3 miles apart, but ended up with crashes on the same road. That's about it, really. Nothing very exciting at all.
Is Solihull a bit like Baltimore in the States? You know, do you remember a TV series called The Wire?
Yeah, I do.
Lots and lots of naughty people and corrupt cops and all sorts of things.
No, Solihull's boring by comparison.
I mean, The Wire was a classic series, probably the best series ever on television.
But the one thing that has happened or has the potential to happen is the police station was going to be closed down. It's a modern concrete block assembled monstrosity. But now they've said they're going to keep the police station on the ground floor, and the 3 floors above are going to be filled by government people moved from London. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think the theory is that people might move from London to Solihull rather than some of the other places that have been suggested that they move government departments to.
Yeah, now we're discovering more of the reasons for having HS2. Peter, anything happening in Aberdeen?
Oh, what's happening? Right. The big thing in Aberdeen at the moment is with an old zoological building that once collapsed and killed people, and it used to keep cobras in it as well. But it's being used to make a film called Tetris. Okay? Thinks that it was a game, but it's set in Moscow. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We've got it. Tetris, yeah.
Yeah, and it's about a computer game, and it's meant to be made in Moscow. So Aberdeen's a dour-grey place at times, the Granite City. And the main actor and producer actually comes from a place called Peterhead, which is just 30 miles north of Aberdeen. Is it 30 miles? So he's decided to get Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire in the film industry. So that's the big thing. So there's a lot of Russian soldiers walking about Aberdeen just now in different areas. And I just think it's great that because even Peaky Blinders have been up in, beside Bucky where Fraser Hayes is, they've been filming up there as well. So as far as Aberdeen's concerned, that's the main news that's keeping everybody talking. But it has brought crowds to the area. and people have been taking pictures of them saying, "What about social distancing, folks?" So that's Aberdeen.
Tetris was the most popular game in the world. We all played it. Who played Tetris?
Me.
I can't even remember it.
Oh God.
Yeah,
There we go.
blocks dropping from the top.
Yep.
Moving.
All right.
It was entertaining.
Well, that's what the movie's about.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the background to it is fascinating, but because I've seen it, I saw a documentary about it some while ago. Stephen, what is happening in Stoke?
Well, apparently there are people called AJ and Curtis Pritchard, who are television people, and they've been branded as delusional over their claim to be the next Anton Deck. Also, Robbie Williams has put a £9 million haunted manor up for sale at a knockdown price.
Oh.
And nearly the most important bit is that the Woolstanton Retail Park, across about 6 miles away from where I am, has just confirmed that a new 2-story Dunelm store is about to be opened. Finally, from Stoke, we won a football match that day. We lost one yesterday, but apparently Piers Morgan has slammed Stokey TV star Anthea Turner. Do you remember her? For flouting the lockdown by hosting a pamper party.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that, you know, when it comes to society, when it comes to culture, stay away from Stoke.
True. Okay, question from Carinder. Which Robbie Williams, Stephen?
The singer, the ex-Take That singer.
Okay.
Yes. There's only one Robbie Williams, Carinder.
Is he confusing Robbie Williams with Robin Williams?
Yeah, that was really
maybe.
horrible. That was really horrible when he went. Horrible.
Yeah.
There are two Robbie Williams.
No.
We only know about one, Carinder. You're ahead of us.
Dunelm, they went bust.
Well, they're still around, mate, and they're opening up.
Yeah, they another one of the rescued stores by one of these finance groups.
I could look into it for you, John, but I don't think I will.
No, they've closed the Dunelm down by us, which I'm very pleased.
One by us.
I'm really pleased it's not there any longer, because walking around it, choosing sheets and things used to drive me mad.
Did you say sheets? One of the last things
these are a nice colour blue.
One of the last things I did before lockdown was walk around IKEA in Glasgow. It was horrible. All these horrible people just completely ignoring the rules, and you're doing all right there, and you thought, oh, please. We had to get out so quickly because it was very, very stressful.
I mean, Sheila, again, I've watched people the other day. I go in and I hand gel at the bottom of the escalator, I hand gel at the top of the escalator, I pick up my things, and I watch people coming in, and 9 out of 10 do not even gel their hands. So, I don't know about you. I'm getting my vaccination this month, well, March the 12th.
Really?
But see what all opens. I ain't going into crowds. I don't know about you guys.
No, I completely agree with you there, Pete. I'm a very old man agreeing with another very old man. Or maybe man.
Can we record him agreeing with me, please?
Yeah, it's being recorded. I mean,
the advice you're given when you get, as the only one who's had their vax, I think, because you're not getting yours till tomorrow, are you, Stephen?
Tomorrow, 10 minutes past 11. I'll be there.
The advice you're given is not to mix until the 22nd day after you're given the squinge in your arm.
Okay.
And are you getting 2 vaccines? Are you getting 2 injections, John?
Yeah, my next one's on the 5th of May.
Very good. Just one quick question to John. Did you manage to get on to Granite Noir, by the way?
Oh, I'll talk to you about that later.
Oh, okay. Right, tell me
Stay
later.
on afterwards and I'll explain to you what
Well, I
a
can't
pain
today.
in the arse it is, okay?
I've got to get right off today because I've got a show that I think is going to be busy at 11:30. Okay.
You well with that? Over to Carinder. Carinder brings it back. Sorry, John.
I was going to say, did you know that IKEA in Edinburgh and Glasgow are offering a buyback scheme and it's going to be extended to the whole of the UK?
What
Yes.
does that mean?
So you can trade your old IKEA furniture in.
All right. Okay. Quite a good idea. Recycling.
Providing you put it together.
Oh,
Right.
there is more news
Right.
from Stoke-on-Trent. Does anybody remember Frasier,
Which one?
Yeah.
Ramsey?
the TV program Frasier? Not anyway.
All right. Sorry.
Well,
It's coming.
Paramount Plus, which is part of CBS, are rebooting Frasier later this year. Do you know there were 263 episodes of Frasier over 10 years or so?
Yeah.
And it's on every bloody channel, you know, the sort of Davies and all that sort of thing. And it is coming back. So that's going to be something to watch out for. The only link with Stoke is that I'm telling you it from Stoke.
Okay. Now let's go with Carinder's comment because Carinder has misunderstood. I'm just going to read Carinder's comment, then we can talk about what the timetable is in England and in Scotland. Guys, did you hear the news that 8th March, the lockdown is ending? Do you believe what the government is saying?
The government have not said that at all.
Right. There is a timetable, Carinder, and on March 8th, the schools go back, most of them, we think. And then 5 weeks later, something else happens. Then 5 weeks later, something else happens. And by the 21st of June, that's when we come out of lockdown. But it's in stages. Basically, the idea is that something happens. They measure the effect of that something happening. If the R rate is still low and four conditions are met, then they can go to the next stage, wait 5 weeks, and repeat the exercise in terms of monitoring, and then June 21st. June 21st, we'll be able to go to a gig.
Possibly.
If everything works out. Everything will open in phases. For those who are interested, hairdressers open in England on April 12th. Yes, I could tell you're waiting to get there, John. All right. Okay.
I hummed and ahhed about buying one of these machines.
Do we think the government's taking the right approach?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about previous or now?
Now is the one.
Now is the one. Yeah, just ignoring the corruption. Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's doesn't seem to be many people arguing against it.
I would agree with Carinder's statement that receiving the vaccine is painful. The actual act of receiving it was painful, but apart from some soreness and when I rolled on it at night, it woke me up. I haven't had any side issues or anything, despite the fact that, you know, I've got something growing out my head and, you know, my hands are purple and no.
Cheer me up before I go tomorrow, John.
They do it right at the top,
Yeah.
literally right at the top of your arm.
Peter.
Apparently there is a good reason for it, but no one can tell me what that good reason is.
Peter.
Yes.
It's different in Scotland, isn't it? As far as the ending of lockdown is concerned.
You know, I'm just so fed up of this two-nation policy. I really am fed up of it. And as you seen me yesterday, I just think this has been a disaster as far as having 3 or 4 different the SNP. Well, I'm not an SNP guy. The problem is there's been too many saying, say this, do that, we'll do that, you do that. it's been a disaster, and we've had a slow vaccination. It's speeded up a bit now, but if never ever let this happen again. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to tell you something now. The Scottish Parliament devolved government has been a disaster, as far as I'm concerned. A total waste of money.
Okay, right, let's go on to something else. So welcome to the show, everybody. Blabbing for Britain, as John said earlier, episode 266. Right, okay, now a story from last week, which we trailed, and we did a piece on. We did our own video about it. Australia passes law to make Google and Facebook pay for news.
Oh, I remember that.
Facebook switched everything off. They switched the news channels off. They switched off a whole host of government and charity pages as well. Thousands of pages were affected, and they royally screwed up. The Aussies said to them, "Look, if you want to leave us in the dark, we don't care. We'll go and do something else." So Facebook backed down.
Yeah.
And our friend, the ex-Lib Dem, had to make a humble apology.
Did he? Is it on video? Is it on video?
It's in writing. He didn't. Well, it's beyond video. He did an interview to Mr. Clegg, saying
how's the problem with this?
Yeah.
Facebook may charge us to come on Facebook shortly.
Oh, boo-hoo.
You know, it's all going. It's all changing. It's all. You know, you can't be too powerful. You'll get your legs swept from you like a judo sweep.
Well, the thing about the Australian situation is that every single government around the world joined in and backed Australia, and Facebook saw that they made a bad move. So, as John said, it'll all be over in 7 days, and it was. But it was over in favour of the Australian government, and that's the main point to take from that.
I'm just going to get me coffee, guys. What was that?
Okay. Now, what you actually need, can we do it in unison? If we all freeze at the same time.
He's on an iPod though, isn't he? So.
Yeah, I know. We just want to, when he comes back, he'll see that we're all frozen and wonder what's going on.
By the way.
He's still here.
Yeah, I do have ears, silly people.
Yeah, it's okay. We just thought we'd play a prank on you, Stephen.
Yeah, and it didn't work, did it, at all? For I am very much mentally on the ball. Just can't remember what these days.
Well,
Stephen's frozen, look. Oh no, he's unfroze.
I've actually used it already during this when I go and get my phone there, and it's actually a great little bit of kit.
Be.Live does not work on iOS. On an iPad.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't it?
It does.
I've joined the meeting on iPads.
Well, I'll rephrase it. It didn't work on mine.
Okay.
You need to be in your Chrome browser.
Yeah.
Or failing that, Safari.
I agree, and I did.
Right.
There's an app. You get an app to join with, Stephen. I was doing that last year. Not the new
mate,
mobile.
you're the trailblazer on this technology, so I'm not surprised you've done it last year.
Yeah.
I haven't, and it don't work.
Okay. Well,
it don't work when Peter steps outside his front door either.
Somebody else has got that problem actually, because they put up a picture of the blank screen, and so I won't try it again because it's just a waste of time, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not even bothering now. I'm just waiting until Stephen tells me it's
available on Android.
What? Android? Why? Mind you,
because Android has a bigger market share than Apple does.
Well,
like it or not, fact.
I have to say I'm developing an app at the moment, which I could have I could have gone both Android and iOS, but I've had to go for Android first because of the amount of users who are Android users as opposed to iPhone or iOS users.
Indeed.
Have you seen my Facebook message, Stephen?
I don't read messages whilst I'm live. I try my best.
I sent a photo I'd like you to put up.
Just a minute. What I'm going to do is look at the camera and look at the camera and freeze. If I can find the button.
It looks like a child's toy on nylon string.
I'll be back in a minute. Carry on. In actual fact, you can still hear me, so I'm going to go with this one. Our fishermen are having great difficulty selling their fish abroad. By coincidence, Mr. Boris Johnson is calling for all of us to eat fish. How often do you eat fish?
Well, a couple of times, once a week.
2 or 3 times a month.
Can you still hear me when the camera's frozen?
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
All right, okay. We're having fish tonight. Yellow fish. Smoked fish.
Haddock.
Yeah.
I like smoked haddock done in milk.
Yeah.
My visits to the chippy every Friday night is a part of a ritual. Great, best fish and chips in Devizes.
I think the fish and chips have gone down in quality during lockdown.
Not in Devizes. I'm just
We're
trying
lucky that we've got 1, 2, 3 good chippies within about 2 miles of where we are. So it's really quite, we're well served. Although the one up at Trentham Lakes has gone down in my estimation in terms of the customer service, which wasn't very good. So we now go to the one about half a mile up the road because it's very good. I'm a big fan of good customer service, and I detest bad customer service.
Right, I'm going to take that off screen. I'm going to hide that. I'm actually going to hide me. Well, no, I'm going to turn my camera off. Okay, and I'm going to bring this image in at the request.
Can you make it full screen?
I said it's a child's toy on some nylon string.
Can you make it full screen? Yeah, right, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. Live from Stoke, this is a photo of the Perseverance rover on its sky crane when it is 6 feet above the surface of Mars. If you have a look, can you see a little star near, just above the middle, a little star leading up to a structure with diagonal struts? Well, in the middle of that structure is a chip which contains the names etched onto the chip of 11 million people, including me. So my name is physically on Mars.
Wow.
That's my tiniest of brilliant stuff that's come out of NASA since, was it last Friday or Thursday when it landed? So this rover is about the size of a Mini Cooper, but it's approached the planet 30,000 miles an hour, went into the atmosphere, the heat shield took all the energy out, and the speed reduced to a mere 1,000 miles an hour. They popped a parachute out. The parachute.
What's special about the parachute?
Well, it's interesting you say that from a very geeky perspective, that there's some digital coding being encoded into the colours and the designs of the parachute.
But what's even more special about it than the fact that the latitude and longitude of the lab is in there?
Go on.
it was made in Devon.
Oh, excellent. Well, that's good to hear. And I've got a Stoke. Can you get that Kelly thing off, Steve? Because I'm trying to show a great photo. There's a colour wheel on here. I'm just trying to work out where it is. But there's a colour wheel which is essentially 5 circles of different colour on the top of the rover. But it's in order to take colour measurements and decide what real colour is. Well, that was created in I think it was Kiel or somewhere in Stoke. And it strikes me that the Europeans have had a really big input into the Perseverance rover, and are going to have a major piece of work throughout the life of the rover on Mars. And underneath the rover is a little droney thing, and in about 3 weeks they're going to launch it, and it'll be the first powered drone or aircraft, if you like, ever tried out on another planet. It's just the most incredible achievement. It really, really is. Thank you. Bye from Stoke.
So, if I hide that, that should bring 3 of you back. And if I switch that on, that should bring 4 of us back. And if I switch my frozen bit off, we should all be back live. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
The parachute material, rather than the parachute itself, was made in Devon by a company called Heathcote's, who were the major producer of parachutes in the Second World War.
Wow.
Bit of useful information, not.
Right, as Kelly got kicked off, I'm going to bring Kelly back on. And wait a minute, I'll go with Chris. Super, the chip also includes the name of my principal, Bruno Giza. Okay, over to Kelly, who got kicked off earlier. I was wondering if it was facing Earth, and if so, what star we were in the sky.
Have you seen the pictures of the sky from it? There's billions of stars visible. It's unbelievable how full of stars the sky is from there.
Just going back to our fish. Carinder likes butterfish, and Chris eats fish 2 times a week. Okay. And we're back. You okay, Peter?
Yeah, I'm fine. Do you know
All right.
See that bit you give me there to freeze the camera? Brilliant. I'd actually get up out my seat. So yeah, great bit of technology there.
It is coming handy.
Very handy.
Right. Okay. Now then, let's stay with vehicles, shall we? And this vehicle doesn't cost quite as much, if I can find it. I'm looking for it. I will find it. Okay. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. This doesn't cost quite as much. Chinese have launched a 3,200 budget electric car. Oh, hang on, Carinder.
It looks like a vertically stretched Mark 1 Fiat Panda.
Yeah. It's an about towner, isn't it? It looks like. Yeah. And I think that they are going to flood the market with electric cars, aren't they? Yeah.
Unless we put on big tariffs.
Well,
I don't think they care about here. I think they want to flood their own market.
Yeah.
And the States and India. Right. Okay. Now, our own vehicle industry at the moment in Ellesmere Port, they're talking at the moment to actually save the plant, and they've got 3 options: close it down, start building electric cars, or just battle on. And they'll know later this week. 1,000 jobs at stake. But Ellesmere Port has been there for some time, so our own car industry is not in the same state as the Chinese one.
Well, we'll have to start making electric cars then. That's the future.
The argument against making electric cars at Ellesmere Port is the lack of battery production in the UK.
Yeah.
Because the only real plant making batteries in the UK is in Sunderland, and it's a spin-off part of Nissan.
Yeah.
So there are two arguments against it. A, production's pretty much all going to Nissan Sunderland, and B, should I be buying from a competitor?
It's very difficult. Well, I'm actually going into my own production. I don't know if I told you about this.
Go on. Oh, here we go. Oh, I thought it was going to be a flip camera.
Yeah, can't see it, and you need to put it in front of you.
Right.
On your t-shirt, that's it. And sit up a bit. Right. Okay, we got it.
Right,
Well,
hold on. I have to
just a minute. You need to be full screen.
fix.
Yeah, they're all clicked together though. No glue these days.
And I got it from Lidl's, and I thought, what? I'm buying that because I was a tank soldier. And then I thought, because I'm British, I thought I'd buy one of these too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're clipped together though, aren't they, Peter?
I know,
You don't
that's how I prefer things. No glue.
Well, I used to put so much glue on it melted the damn things.
I've been there, done that.
I've no patience for doing things like that. I get easily frustrated. I've got no.
Right. This is one for all Apple users.
All right.
This is the M1 chip, John. Stephen.
No.
Tom bought a laptop with an M1 chip in it. It's unbelievably fast.
It's not targeted on the M1. It's targeted on Mac OS, and it happens to also affect the M1. But nobody. It doesn't seem to have a payload attached to it. So it's definitely a bit of malware, and they're looking into it, but it doesn't look as if it's has any payload, so to speak. That's not to say that it won't have one in the future, but yeah. So it's not an M1 issue; it's a Mac OS issue. I think.
And something that I don't like at all is that the pound has hit a 3-year high as reopening hopes lift travel and oil firms. The dollar's tanked.
Is it 141 today?
Yeah, it was 125.
I know, and I'm happy for that because I've just paid a big bill in
I'm not.
dollars.
I get paid in dollars.
Oh.
I am all happy.
I pay a lot of things in dollars as well, so I too will be happy.
Yeah. Do you know what? I did a huge mistake in that I had to pay an American invoice, and I used my normal bank account. 24 hours later, I had a £42 international fee, and the thing that really pissed me off was that I've got a thing called TransferWise, and so I've got a groovy little cardy thing, Comsat, and if I use that, like I almost always do, I would have saved £40. A little bit gutted. I won't do it again.
No, on spitting. Right, out to Kelly. We have signs of spring in Canada at 7 degrees Celsius today. Robin singing, not Robin Williams. And some weeds coming in the ground.
So have we.
This morning, I heard the birds outside my house, and I done a short video clip outside it, and listened to the birds, and then I heard a big bird in the sky flying to the airport, and I thought, wow, spring is in the air.
Yeah, isn't it marvelous?
It really is. You know.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracking spring and summer.
Any news on Android? I'm going to take that. That's in relation to Be.Live. Peter at the moment is testing the iOS version of Be.Live, and the Android version will finish when Peter says it works. Will be out when Peter says it works.
Do you know, I sit and use it on the iPad in my house, but I just can't go outside with it.
Yeah.
It actually drains the battery for some reason right away.
Well, it's just he's searching for a signal.
Yeah.
And it's just being on 4G does drain the battery, as we know.
Does it?
Yeah.
Have you got 4G on your iPad, or is your iPad just wireless?
What I do is I use a hotspot from my telephone, from my mobile, and I put the hotspot onto it.
It's Bluetooth.
Yeah. Either Wi-Fi, sorry. It's the Wi-Fi. The Bluetooth, the hotspot's the Wi-Fi.
From your iOS device.
See, I've got an old phone, that's got an unlimited SIM. So my old phone is my hotspot.
I'm going to show Stephen someone because he wasn't there yet. Stephen, what's this?
An old iPod?
No.
Do you know what it is? John?
I was there yesterday.
All right, okay. Yeah, you were annoying me yesterday.
I was trying to wind you up.
This is a thing called a flip. And in the early days, I used this for YouTube 10 years ago. And you just press a button, takes it on, and then you go like this. And it comes out with a USB. You plug it into your laptop or your PC. And it was software and everything. It was actually a marvelous invention. It was really good. And Flip was bought over by Cisco. So this is the Cisco version. And I just thought it was a marvelous bit of kit. And I wish they'd kept it up. And so I bought that on eBay for 20 quid. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But
an 88-inch LG TV.
Yeah. And we're on TV at the moment. An 88-inch LG TV.
I think it's possibly an 88 centimetre, isn't it?
Okay, and now to Kelly. And Kelly is saying, my daughter said she had messages. We had 5G, and then Telus crashed.
I have 5G on this phone, the Samsung.
Right. Okay.
They burnt the 5G mask at the entrance to the allotments. Seriously. It'd been up three weeks, and then they poured petrol all over the base units, and the flames reached just about 10 feet shy of the top of the 65-foot pole. And really, because it was in front of the allotments and on the other side of the road is a park, it wasn't in anybody's sight or vision or anything. And then 2 days afterwards, they claimed it was burnt because the 5G mast was giving off COVID.
Okay, which brings us neatly onto this story. One of the UK's largest care homes introduces no jab, no job policy. And this is UK Care. And they have said that if their staff have not had a vaccination jab, they will not have a job.
Yes, and then it's been declared that they can only do that to new contract people because you cannot vary the contract on a health basis. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do.
I don't think they'll be the last to do it. Now, staying with jobs at the moment, there's a banker. I use the term loosely. There's a banker who says he rejects, and his bank rejects, that working from home is now the new normal.
What a dick.
Well, I did say, I did say banker, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I said banker.
I did think he added some criteria to that, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well,
he did.
Talking about vaccinations, guys.
This is the Goldman Sachs chief, isn't it? that
One
said
would.
this.
I don't know. I mean, we all work from home or are based at home, so we don't have a stake in it. But I would think that the time when people went into the city, be it London, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, to work, is fast disappearing because everybody's been able to work from home.
Currently over, because the thing is, as he says there, the new normal. Yeah, the new normal is going to be a combination of working from the office,
He
working
doesn't
from home.
say it's everybody's got to go back to work. It says
That
it's all
statement,
about
though, John,
teamwork
that statement
together.
there, that statement is just rubbish because it's not actually giving us any context for sure. But nobody can reject, I don't care who the hell they are, nobody can reject the new normal, which is a combination of working from home, working from the office, working in a car, working anywhere. It has already changed. It's not a question of what's coming around soon. We're already in the new normal.
Do you know what, something? I've been looking at I think I invited somebody to the Elite Business Academy if you wanted to go there. But there's people talking about they started their own business. Since the lockdown, they realised how much travelling they've been doing and how much effort it is just to get to their work. It's been so bad. They looked back and said, I need to get out of there. And they've started their own businesses and they're looking for other businesses that don't take up. They've seen their kids more, not going out in the morning, not seeing them, coming back at night and the kids are in their bed. So the world is changing. I even say, Andy, if you think they've got bed bugs, tell them to meet me online and they can show me the bug live. That's how I use my business. Yeah, that's definitely bed bugs, you know.
Going back to Mr. Solomon, what he's actually core of his argument is that he takes 3,000 apprenticeship level people on a year, and if people are working from home, there is no way they can get the necessary mentorship to succeed.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus Christ. That's so old thinking. That's 80s corporate bullshit thinking.
Well,
absolutely.
How can you achieve what he wants to achieve? But all I'm saying is that the headline doesn't actually 100% match what the guy's actually saying.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, in my business, I've got to train them outside. It's on the job training.
Yeah. Some of the time.
You don't go and spend all your life with them, do you, Peter? I've worked for home since more than 25 years now. I certainly couldn't go back and work in an office, that's for sure.
I could go back to work.
You're a man of leisure now, Peter.
Do you think so?
A man who has the freedom to make his own decision to go walking for 2 hours at midnight. A man of freedom.
And you know something? Why do I feel guilty about my time off that I can take now? Why do I feel guilty?
You shouldn't be.
I do sometimes, you know.
But you've worked for it to get into that position.
Yes, I know. But I still feel guilty. But yeah. So the work smart, not hard. That's the secret.
See, Nick Wood likes to work from the beach, but I couldn't get further from the beach if I tried. So.
Right. That would be my ideal, floating about the... There was a guy that we used to meet on Blabbing for Britain. Didn't he work from a mobile, what do you call it, a camper van? And he travelled about making websites and things. Do you remember him?
Well, I know who you mean. He didn't always... He had a home, and then he would go off for 3 weeks in his camper van. I know exactly who you mean. Can I think of his name? Wasn't he in your neck of the woods anyway? Wasn't he in Scotland?
I don't remember. See, I'll tell you what happens.
He was in the group with Kelvin, Mr. Fagan.
Yeah, because what happened was, that's right, there's a few names that have come up recently that I remember from Blabbing from Britain and things, like that guy Cook, Stephen says he comes up in bit, but I hadn't seen him for a while. And my little friend in Edinburgh, he comes on live on Facebook. He doesn't come here. And it's funny, the people that you've met in the past are popping up again. Just the odd area, you know.
I blame Facebook.
Pardon?
I blame Facebook.
Well, some of them have gone off to do different things. Like Calvin used to be on all the time, but he's working now. He works at Marks and Spencer's.
What was his name again? Kelvin what?
Fagan.
Kelvin Fagan, yeah. And
He loves MG
he's
cars.
not picking a pocket or two in Marquis.
I think he's had all of those jokes about 50 years ago.
Right, okay. Well, he's getting them again for me. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Remember that Be.Live sent me to a link to check out my software, right? Because remember last week, the sound wasn't great, etc. Sheila came in one day and she took my Wi-Fi deco unit from the windowsill in the garage and put it down so it was in a wall. And since I've put it back at the window, line of sight, there's been no problem. So I've stole her vase for my camera.
Sometimes you've got to take drastic action, Peter. I applaud you. I applaud you. Question from Carinder, who's on YouTube. Why YouTube HD and Facebook not? You see, now you've asked the question.
Well,
yeah.
Money.
Volume, I've said personally.
Bandwidth.
It's basics in storage. It costs a fortune to do 1080 and store it. You're actually, bandwidth-wise, you're actually transferring twice as many pixels as 720. It's economics. YouTube cares.
Okay.
YouTube cares.
Talking of webcams and things, I saw a little post about a test site called webcammictest.com. So that's webcam, MIC test.com. And it's absolutely great if you want to test your microphone and your speaker, your webcam and your microphone, etc. out.
Without guys. Can I answer Nick?
Yes, sure.
Question, please. I was up since 2 o'clock last night, so Nick and I done my show. Thank you very much, Nick. It went well, and I tried to log into Nick last night, but I wasn't subscribed. And this morning, when I was on the toilet, I was looking at it, but I had to go. And then you visualise that, Stephen?
Yeah.
I've been so busy. I'll tell you, I'm excited. Yesterday went well with Nick. When I enjoyed it, there was no blips. Now today at 11:30, and you're all welcome to come in and watch. I've got people coming already to my show, which I'm my Pest Talk, yeah, and I'm getting them coming. And I done a lot of practice this morning, making sure it went to the group and everything. And two things happened. One, about 5 or 6 people come in to watch while I was doing that, which is great. I've had a few booked on because I put on an event and people are saying they're going and tell me they're not coming. I've got manufacturers coming in. But one thing I did find out with Be.Live, it confused me. In a group, it came up. I don't know if you've seen this, guys. If you're going to a group, you've got to get the permission of the people that are going to be in the group for Be.Live to show their name. Was you aware of that?
It's the last 2 years, Peter.
Yeah,
well, I never knew that because I've never really done a group before. That's what it is. So when it comes up as a Facebook user, but I've given them the link, but so that I didn't know that. So, but I'm quite excited.
That's something we see all the time.
I didn't know that. See, I'm just starting to learn this now.
I'm interested in the question about, did you get your YouTube channel verified?
Yeah, so
You need 100,000 subscribers to have a YouTube channel verified.
No,
Yeah.
you're just able to. Sorry, it's the wrong statement, John.
Yeah.
You've got to ask permission to broadcast to your YouTube channel, to broadcast live.
Oh,
To stream
And
it.
that takes 24 hours.
yeah,
So
well,
that's in the list
there's
for
a
today.
verified by YouTube badge, you see, but you have to have 100,000 subscribers to get
Yeah.
that.
Not there.
And
So-
I've 306, so.
No, I'm going to be doing that later on, Nick. I'm going to be looking at your video and then stopping it and then doing the next step, then stopping it and doing the next step. So that's good. So, yeah, I'm excited. Back to you.
Me yawning.
Something's happening.
Aye. Who's done that?
I've done that. Hopefully.
Have you spotted the error in it, Stephen?
It's not my work, John. So telling me it's wrong won't help.
I'll have to tell you. Bridgetti's.
It is, yes.
If you look at the 10
Okay.
o'clock, she's got a letter O instead of a 0.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to get it anyway. I'm going to put it full screen. I'm going to turn everybody's mic. I'm blown away by the quality of the graphics. This is all done by Brigetti, and she's used Canva and InVideo. And if you look at something that she did 12 months ago compared to the level of her work now, well, it just blows me away. Right, we should all be back now. Next week is Live Video Producers Week. 5 shows, 5 days, 5 different platforms, and everybody's welcome to join us. And this time round, there are 10 of us. We've grown from 8. We welcome Nick, who's in the audience today, and Lillian, who is in Switzerland. So I'm looking forward to that next week. In previous sessions, which were 5 days live sessions, I produced all 5 shows. I'm only producing 1 show this time, so I'm happy. All right.
Delegation, that's the idea.
Well, basically, yes, but everybody's an expert on the platform they're actually producing on, so that makes sense. I mean, I never use StreamYard, so I don't know what it's like at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's to look forward to next week. Okay, all right. Anybody jetting away? And if so, will you get your passport to go with you? Right, okay. I take it that none of us are actually thinking of flying to Greece soon.
Back to the vaccine passport. I was going to go to a job to do an interview, and I went over to Cyprus. But you know something? I had to have yellow fever. I had to this. We've done it anyway. You know, it's crazy.
Okay. I'm going to hide that. And comments wise, let's catch up with the comments. Okay, I'm just checking the messages before I actually post them. Okay, so our final topic for today, because we're coming up the end of the road. We've done all that lot. Okay, final one is a financial one, and the ex-chancellor is saying that we need to be told the truth for a change. And that's, again, I'm managing to pick topics here which are of no interest to anyone. So I'll come back. Okay, fine.
Does even Philip Hammond know what the truth is? The answer is not sure anyone knows what the truth is on the...
We all know what the truth is. We just don't know how big the hole is. I mean, we've been spending now for over a year money we don't have.
Other thing is, in Scotland, we need to know the truth with the salmon, and the Scottish office have banned basically the Scottish office have banned what salmons. They've redacted everything. We need to know the truth. Up.
Yeah, well, they're ordering the your lawmaker to appear before Parliament, aren't they? So it'll be interesting how he's going to justify himself.
You remember you asked me about my politics, right?
We've never asked you about politics, Peter. We don't know what they are. We've no idea at all.
This will shock you. You know George Galloway?
Yeah, we know.
He's set up the Alliance Party.
You told us this 3 weeks ago.
One sole aim, and that is to get the SNP out of government. And that's who I'm voting for.
You told us you weren't going to vote for anybody because they didn't deserve your vote.
That's what I'm doing. I can change my mind like a politician.
No, right. As long as you don't make your mind up, you're all right. Never be decisive, ever. Always hedge your bets. Okay, John, it's over to you.
Okie doke. So it's yes, it's that time to say goodbye. So it's goodbye from Scotland, from the Tory up north. With his blue background.
No, you're some.
But you've got a blue background.
You're rising, sir.
It's goodbye from Stoke-on-Trent, and it's goodbye from Wiltshire, and it's goodbye from Solihull. Bye.
Okay. And stop.